Okay, what's going on, everybody? Yuki54 here, and welcome to the episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Battle. So, the last time it was a three-way battle between MST, Nobleman of Extermination, and Night. So, this time it's going to be a two-way battle between two very good cards. We have Fiendish Chain versus Breakthrough Skill. Since Breakthrough Skill came out, a lot of people I've been seeing having gone back and forth between Breakthrough Skill and Fiendish Chain, whether which one is really the most useful out of the two cards. And I've been seeing a lot of people throw out the Fiendish Chains because they both have relatively good effects. They both have good reasons of why, you know, people are using them, for their own different reasons. But each of them does have their flaws in terms of their effects because like no card's perfect pretty much. So let's get started with Fiendish Chain, which of course is a continuous trap card. Allows you to target one face-up effect monster on the field. The target's effects are negated. Also, that target cannot attack. When that target is destroyed, destroy this card. So Fiendish Chain was used for quite a while because it was a way to stop effects. It was able to stop that Strato stuff like Euroframe to stop effects, and is also able to stop attacking, which was a relatively nice thing, especially if there's a big attack power monster in the field. Now, as an effect, you just go Fiendish Chain. Now that monster cannot attack, and you're safe from basically losing the duel from that giant monster until they, of course, MST or something like that. Now, one of the biggest drawbacks to Fiendish Chain is the fact that if the monster leaves the field, not being destroyed, of course, if he's tributed or synchro summoned or exceed summoned, Fiendish Chain stays on the field. So that's an extra card in your spell and trap card zone, where if you're playing Gores, it's a really bad situation for you because now your Gores is pretty much dead in your hand until Fiendish Chain leaves the field. And your opponent, of course, is not going to MST to Fiendish Chain if it's just there dead on the field because that prevents you from dropping down the Gores. So there's a lot of ways to get around Fiendish Chain. Probably one of the best ways is to go Forbidden Lance. So like when the opponent summons a monster, the Fiendish Chain, just go Forbidden Lance, Fiendish Chain still on the field, and you can go on with your plays and stuff like that. It's a great way to use for cards like tuners like Blizzard, the Far North, as well as the Machina Gear Frame. Like, it's a good way to use Gear Frame that way. You can just attach it to your fortress, and now Fiendish Chain is now null and void, and it's just going to stay there looking pretty for the entire time. Now, another drawback to Fiendish Chain is the fact that monster effects that trip themselves get around Fiendish Chain, because Fiendish Chain only targets the field, which is another bad thing. So cards like Rescue Rapid and Card D get around Fiendish Chain because their effects resolve in the graveyard. Yes, their effect activates on the field, but the resolution of the effect will be activated in the graveyard, allowing you to go for your 2 free cards, your 2 free vanilla monsters from your deck, and now Fiendish Chain is just, again, there, sitting there, looking pretty, not doing anything, and possibly preventing you from dropping a Gores. So, next up, we have Breakthrough Skill. Breakthrough Skill is the newest card. I believe it came out on Abyss Rising. It's a normal trap card that allows you to target one face-up effect monster your opponent controls, negates the effects of that opponent's face-up monster until the end phase of this turn. During your turn, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to target one face-up effect monster your opponent controls, negate that target's effects until the end of this turn. So pretty much, it's a dual negation. You get one negation for free, and then during your turn you can negate another effect. This is a relatively good card because you can do this on a defensive level or an offensive level. You can also do that with Fiendish Chain, but this one's a little bit more versatile in terms of an offense or defense. Because that way you don't run the risk of a trap card staying on the field if it's synchro summoned or exceed summoned and stuff like that. It just goes to the graveyard, still leaving you options for cards like Gores, which is really nice. Now the really good thing about Breakthrough Skill is, cards like Rapid, Card D, even Stardust Dragon's effects will still be negated. Yes, they can still tribute themselves to the graveyard, but they will no longer get their effects. It's pretty much the trap version of Effect Veiler, because you can still tribute them off for Effect Veiler, but they won't get their effects, and the graveyard are being banished or whatever you want to do. They won't get their effects, which is really nice. Because of course, cards like Breakthrough Skill, Baylor, Skill Drain, Fiendish Chain can't stop the cost of activation, which in this case is tributing themselves off to get said effect. Now that's kind of a defensive way to look at Breakthrough Skill, which is really nice. Now you can also do it during your opponent's turn, or during your turn, if you want to go on an offensive approach. Let's say your opponent has a, I don't know. I don't really know what you're gonna do for the second effect, unless they really have something annoying that you need to get rid of, like a Zenmates. So quick, Zenmates, wind up Zenmates. There you go, wind up Zenmates. Gotcha, Gentetsu. Banish on your turn, target their Zenmates or their Gotchi, or maybe anything else that has an effect that prevents monster destruction, or that just sits there and just prevents destruction altogether. You can ram over, you can get over it, which is really nice. It's a great with Gotchi because now you won't get the boost and he'll be at 1800 attack. Not attack, mean defense. I don't know why I said attack. That's a pretty dumb card. That's pretty dumb for me to say that, but it's just it really does help out in that situation for an offensive play, and for defensively, like I said, you can do it on your opponent's turn, like if they have a Star Dragon, you can go Breakthrough Skill on their Stardust or something like that, and just that way they can't really tribute it off, but they can, but it'll still be a null and void type of thing. Unless they're one from winning like a Smashing Ground, you can just go Tribute Stardust because I can. Yeah. So now a setback for Breakthrough Skill is the fact that the monsters can still attack, which is what Fiendish Chain does prevent. It does stop attacking, which is one big bonus that Chain has over Breakthrough Skill. The fact that if there's a big attack power monster with an effect on the field, you can Fiendish Chain it, and that way that monster cannot attack. That's a big bonus for Fiendish Chain, but Breakthrough Skill cannot do. So you have to be careful using Breakthrough Skill, but of course we have so much monster hate right now. Double Mirror Force, double Tribute, we have triple Compulse, triple D Prison, double Bottomless, the Solemn Brigade. Are you really worried about them attacking you? No! We don't really need a stop attacking card because we have so much of it right now. We don't really need cards like Fiendish Chain to say, no, you cannot attack. You cannot attack. Where you can just use Breakthrough Skill and just go, okay, negate effect and attack, okay. Mirror Force, haha, how you like me now? It is really cool. So anyway, out of these two cards, like I said, both these cards are relatively good cards. Fiendish Chain, of course, does stop attacks, but if the monster leaves the field by not destruction, Fiendish Chain is now dead on the field, preventing you from doing any possibly plays, and it's taking up a space in the spell and trap card zone. But he does stop attacks, which is really nice. But cards like Bunny, Cargo D, Star Dragon, these type of cards can still get around Fiendish Chain since they can tribute themselves off and they activate really resolve in the graveyard. In Breakthrough Skill, they not stop attacks, but you can stop effects twice, pretty much. And if the monster gets Forbidden Lance, it's not gonna stay on the field. It's gonna go into the graveyard, and it still leaves cards like Gourd alive. And yes, it doesn't stop attacks, but the thing is, it does stop Bunny, Cargo D, Star Dragon, any monster that really would negate, that would really tribute itself to get an effect. It will stop those effects, which is a really nice thing. It's pretty much another version of Veiler. Just think if you're playing 3 Breakthrough Skills and 3 Veilers. They're basically playing 6 effect Veilers. 9 to be exact, because this thing is a double effect Veiler, because it's got 2 effects in one. So you're basically playing like 9 effect Veilers, which is a really nice little combination there. And it won't stay on the field if the monster leaves the field by non-destruction means, or if it gets Forbidden Lance, and it can't get MSD, which is another bonus. Well, you can MST it, but you won't do anything, but you can if you want to. Not gonna stop you from doing that. But, and it's also chainable, which is always nice. Because if you MST like Fiendish Chain, it would just get destroyed. And Breakthrough Skill is chainable, so they wasted their MST, and you can negate an effect, such as like Torgai and stuff like that. And it will also help you get around cards like Zenmates and Gotchi, which Fiendish Chain also does too. But again, Fiendish Chain can get at least MST, which is more hate towards Fiendish Chain. So out of these two cards, Breakthrough Skill gets the victory because it's a more versatile card, and the fact that it has less weaknesses than Fiendish Chain, since its really only big weakness is cards like Road Decree, Trap Stun, Solemn Brigade, well, not Solemn Brigade, but Solemn, Seven Tools, Forbidden Lands, whereas Fiendish Chain here, it can be stopped by cards like MST and stuff like that, and it's not really chainable since, you can't really chain this in MST because that would be kind of redundant, unless targeting like no, not even Reaper would do it, but, Breakthrough Skill is chainable by cards like MST, and you can just hit an effect which is actually relatively nice, and get it in the graveyard for during your turn. And his armor gets a nice plus, since it's pretty much, Doko saying, I'm back. Miss me? But anyway, give me thoughts on which one y'all think is the best out of these two, Fiendish Chain or Breakthrough Skill. Like I said, I prefer Breakthrough Skill since it's more diverse, it can be changed, it's got a lot more going for it than Fiendish Chain. But I'm not trying to take away from Fiendish Chain because it's still a relatively good card, it really is. This Breakthrough Skill has much more potential and has much more power going packed into this one little card. So anyway, comment, rate, subscribe, and bye.